We'll be getting started in just a couple minutes. We are live, so I don't want to just jump in too early. I'm actually going live much earlier than normal, so I normally don't go live for another hour and 15 minutes, but I feel myself getting a little sleepy, so I thought that it'd be best to give you the best quality reading by just going ahead and doing it. What I'm doing now is just kind of warming up the card, because I told you we have our own dedicated Demon Whisperer deck, but I have not used it since the last time we read together, which was on Friday. I did decide to go ahead and take weekends off from doing our nightly reading, because it just feels good to me to do that. If I ever feel led to come in on a Saturday or Sunday and do a reading at night here, that would be a rare occasion. But I think we're just going to do Monday through Friday for now. If you do require something a little bit more personal, then be sure to check in with me on Patreon. There's a myriad of ways to connect with me there. And we'll begin in about 10 seconds. In the meantime, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Dela, the Demon Whisperer. And if you are watching this reading tonight, it is most likely because you are a demon whisperer too. So I'm very excited to do your collective angels and demons reading. What it is we're basically just tapping in and understanding the energies that will be with us. Those energies that make us feel good and warm and fuzzy, and those energies that also may challenge us a little bit too and make us humble or stand up straight. We're also going to look in when it comes to those energies, which ones are going to come with rewards, which ones are going to come with certain lessons, and what advice we could use. And then if there's an overall message, we'll take a look at that as well. And then if anyone is here, I do want to offer you one question that I'm happy to read for you here. You can place that one question in the chat at any time. And then we will go ahead and answer your one question together after our angel and demons reading, or angels and demons reading. I heard angel and demons, so one angel and a lot of demons. So maybe a couple challenges coming up. So we'll see. First things first, again, let me invite you to join us on Patreon. Patreon by the same name, Daylight the Demon Whisperer. There you can officially connect with me. It's our private community where we can talk one-on-one. We also have a group chat available. We have the option to connect both in a private chat, by phone call, and video. So there's a myriad of ways for us to be able to get together and connect and delve into the questions that you might have. So take a look at that on Patreon. And I'm just making sure the cards are ready to be read. How was your weekend? I hope it was good. Part of the reason why I decided not to do our readings on the weekend is because I felt like the reading that we did on Friday really covered the energy of the entire weekend. I felt like we were going to have some beautiful experiences on Friday that we're going to just pour into the rest of the weekend. And I was having a really good weekend. So now I would like to ask our future self, we are at night 8, continuing from night 7 going into night 9, but literally we are at night 8. So for the cycle of night 8, I'd like to know what angels will be with us, what energies will be with us that make us feel good, that make us feel pleasure, that make us happy, and which rewards. Okay, 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 all right. I feel like this part wants to be read separately, so we'll talk about the demons and the advice concerning that in just a bit. I do feel like your angels do want their own moment, so I will give that. So there is a sense of passing a test that was introduced through some conflict, and the way that you've dealt with these things has, we say we know that angels are just thoughts. They're just our inner thoughts, our self-concept, the way we feel about ourselves, the energies that we encounter throughout the day that make us feel good. And you are who you attract, and the world around you is you pushed out. Okay. If any of that is true, then it's obvious that the angel that is with you is one that you created. When I see that number 5, I often think about Oshun and the gift of creation given to the feminine energy. And I do feel like a lot of people watching are feminine energy. And so it feels like you manifested a certain conflict in your life and passed it at the same fucking time because you were bad bitch. So it's almost as if the angel that's going to be with you night 8 and this cycle that you're about to experience going into night 9, is the confidence that comes from passing those tests. The confidence that comes from going through those burning sands. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And then the rewards that come with it. Somebody's going to be traveling as a result, or maybe able to put some distance between the conflict and yourself. Finally, able to breathe a little bit. Also, experiencing that love, that rush of love, that thrill of love, that infusion of happy family, and you finally get to chill a little bit because maybe there was a project that you were working on. I really do feel like there was a conflict, an interrelational conflict that had manifested very quickly, that you were able to overcome very quickly because you're creative. And the rewards that come with that, that angel is that confidence. The rewards that come with that are being able to distance yourself, having the power to disengage when know when it's time to let go and just spend time with people that do love you, being able to focus on where you are receiving those good feelings. Because generally, if you are in, if you have recently engaged in some kind of interpersonal, interrelational conflict relating to other people, and you overcame it and you passed it, generally that's because there are people who love you and there is energy where there is love. And a lot of times when that happens, if I'm talking to who I think I'm talking to, you were defending somebody else. And I think that that's going to be obvious. It's going to be obvious. I hear it ain't hard to tell. Um, I do also feel like there is another opportunity for financial advancement. I know you've had a lot of those lately, and yes, there is another opportunity for financial advancement. I do believe that it has something to do with academia, um, whatever that might be. Maybe there's a grant or some funding or some type of resource that's going to be made available to you in the world of academia that will definitely be manifesting tomorrow. That quick. Tomorrow. Wow. Um, I hear this song that I often hear in my head when I see this seven of spades. The spades are also the air, is also the swords, and it talks a lot about our thoughts and how we process things. And we could either be in a place of surrender, or we could be in a place of anxiety. I mean, it kind of goes one way or the other. We could be completely in control, and I see this seven of spades being that completely in control of thought, completely in control of what you're thinking, of the direction that your thoughts are leading you on, being able to have the perception to know where you are thought wise at all times, and being able to transmute any energy into what it needs to be. Because those are what angels are. They're our thoughts. And I believe that you are coming to a place of mastering that. You've come to a place of completion. That conflict was to hone to hone your thought life. Now, I do believe this Jack of Spades is telling us that we're able in this next cycle, this night 8 going into night 9, we are able, combining all these other energies, to to uncover the deceiver. That Jack of Spades is the deceiver. And a lot of times when I read cards, I will put these powerful cards on top of this not so good, not so desirable card. We are able to uncover, by covering this card, we will be able to uncover the deceiver, and it will be obvious to everyone involved. That's beautiful. We don't usually do readings like that. So those are the angels and the blessings, the rewards that will come with that. Let's take a very close look at let's take a look at the demons that will be with us tomorrow. The energies that may not necessarily make us feel good. Um, the energies that may not necessarily make us feel as confident as we want to feel. Maybe the energies that are there to humble us, the energies that are there to strengthen our weak ego, make us see things a different way, examine life differently. I think there was something else. This card tried to come out first. There's a little bit of a temper, a little bit of an immature anger. It might just be because you're about to start your period. Just be ready for that. Do what you got to do to be ready for the irritability. That's what this is. Very simple, very practical. There's an irritability. Check with your app if you keep your menstrual cycle on an app and see if you are going into the part of your menstrual cycle where you're normally going to be a little irritated. For most women, and I believe that's who I'm talking to, that's going to be the week or so before your menstrual cycle begins. So I definitely would recommend that. This is a great time to get some chocolate. You might be a little sentimental. Well, let me tell you this. It's going to be very important that you take your vitamins as we go into the next week because if that is the case, those vitamins are really, really going to help you manage those emotions, okay? Your mama didn't tell you, but I just did. If you take vitamins every day, you definitely want to take them right before you start your period because these sentimental, watery feelings, they can be managed, okay? They can be managed. There's also a bit remember I said angel and demons? Yeah. Your angel was confident. Your demons are irritability, a little bit too much sadness, maybe a little bit more of a melancholy demon. Also, some of that. I like to say this is a little bit of anxiety. Four of swords. Four swords. Four of air. Four of spades. It's kind of that feeling leading up to something. Usually, a lot of times, unfortunately, when we get excited about something, we feel it as anxiety first, and we have to remind ourselves, "I'm not anxious. I'm anticipating." So go ahead and transmute that energy, okay? And then there might be some. I hear he dicked me down and then he left. Okay, you got the dick though. You got to understand that. You had to know what it was when you went into it. Um, hey, all right. So let's talk about the advice that is here for these demons in together. I don't want to talk about it separately because they're really all the same thing. We're talking about some emotional illness, some emotional instability. We talk about our period coming. So what is our advice? What's our advice? On a practical level, we're talking about some hormones, okay? But what's the advice? What advice do you have for us? Okay, thank you. I keep hearing this, cut your losses. No, you got to know when to hold up, know when to fall down, know when to walk away, know when to run. You better count your money when it's sitting on the table. Yeah. When it comes to this part right here, this seven of hearts, this king of hearts, the advice is the five of hearts. Don't worry about what's lost. You got the dick. Who cares if he left? That might be for your protection. And then we've got the eight of swords. Let me see that. And that card really does talk about, the eight is the number of mastery, and that sword card is about thought, and it really is about having that stability and that knowing. I kind of like to call it mind faith. Um, to know who you are, to be stable in your thought. A lot of what we're dealing with in this next cycle has to do with our thoughts. And it's going to be really important when we deal with that anxiety of what's to come, to kind of live from the end and know that you just about to start your period. That's all it is. That's all it is. And master your emotions. This will be a great time to put a little extra time in the morning into meditating, masturbating, praying. Um, I feel like I need to give some very practical advice as well. Don't focus on the figure as much as you focus on the function. Because a lot of times we aren't really told growing up that as you get closer to your period, this will happen to your body. Well, don't focus so much on the figure. Just focus on the function, okay? Eat healthy foods. Line your stomach with something like a oat milk or something like that to help with some of the nausea that happens. Make sure you eat your breakfast. Make sure you eat a whole breakfast. Do the stuff that's gonna make you be able to deal with those hormonal changes. And like I said, make sure you take your vitamins. Okay. So let me see if there's an overall message for us. And I don't see any questions in the chat um, for a question, but I'll double check that in a minute. Ooh, focus on your money, baby. Focus on your blessings. One of the biggest ways, and spend some time with your friends. One of the biggest ways that you can overcome sadness is to compare yourself to somebody doing worse than you. For real, it's a universal law. Um, this Three of Swords to me says stay committed to what brings you happiness. Mind the business that pays you. Mind the business that pays you. That Eight of Diamonds confirms that. And is there any other overall message for us for this next cycle as we deal with, oh, I got a vision of love. Don't worry about it, okay? Know that where you are right now is where you're supposed to be, all right? Know that who's in your life right now is who's supposed to be. If you're here, it's because you're supposed to be, all right? And I don't see any questions in the chat, but I will just wait a little bit and see if anybody comes in. Um, and let me update my banner. I'll give it a few minutes, see if anybody joined who has a question. And then I will shut it down because I'm so ready to go to bed. I want to get some clarification though, because I saw that one of the demons that was going to be was your temper. And I want to kind of get an understanding on where that source is, if that's okay, while I wait and see if anybody has a question. What is the source of that trigger? Like, what is going to happen um, that causes that trigger of the temper, of the irritability? Hmm. Okay, so there's a message that you're going to receive tomorrow from someone that you are romantically involved with that is going to seem very cold. But you have to remember this message most likely is going to come very quickly. So most likely it's going to be like a text message or something like that. I don't think it's going to be a phone call. But it's going to seem really cold. But you got to kind of not allow that to trigger you. You might initiate the message and not get back the message that you intended. You also have to understand too that we are currently in Cancer season, so it's some emotionally unstable motherfuckers out here, and you can't take everything so seriously because there be some niggas out here on some emotional roller coasters, and you don't know where you jumped on that. Okay, I do see that here with the Jack of Hearts. I see for me, I see that Cancer energy and that emotional roller coaster. That not quite, that emotional roller coaster. Loving you ain't nothing healthy. That right there. But that message I get from the Three of Fire, that card always talks to me about a message, and then the King of Spades is where I get that coldness from. There is somebody who is placing distance, but it's not for the reasons that you think. It's out of respect for their loved ones. Okay. So don't get all caught up. They're just enjoying family business, doing them, trying not to get things confused. Okay. Good. All right. Well, it doesn't look like there are any questions. So again, I will always make myself available at the end of these readings to do a live question. It's my way of thanking you for being here. And if you do want to, go ahead and drop a tip in my Cash App. It is $Ashe Unlimited LLC. You probably see that right under my name. That is my Cash App. I am more than happy to receive your financial contributions. And more than anything, please do also join us on Patreon so that we can have a one-on-one session and be able to really get into those questions that you have, whether it's about love or money or something else you'd like to run over. I recently did a one-on-one with somebody who had a question that wasn't tarot related whatsoever. They wanted to really know how to gain some more resources to accomplish a goal in a certain area. So we were able to use our resources and get that answered. And it had nothing to do with these cards. So definitely want to invite you to a one-on-one session so that we can unpack and uncover whatever it is you'd like to do as well. So for now, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. I'll see you next time. Have a great evening. you.